On-the-scene coverage of ACC.14 is supported by Janssen Pharmaceuticals, Incorporated.
Hello, I'm Tony DeMaria for On the Scene, and I'm here at the ACC meeting with Dr. Amy Armstrong. And Dr. Armstrong is the Associate Director of the Cath Lab at the University of Michigan CS Mott Hospital, and the author of a very interesting one-year follow-up on the Melody pulmonary heart valve. Tell us, Amy, what made you do this study?
Well, the Melody valve is a valve that is used to treat right ventricular to pulmonary artery conduit dysfunction. And this was approved with a humanitarian device exemption designation by the FDA in 2010. And that designation required that a multicenter post-approval study be performed to make sure that the results were similar to what was found in the initial IDE trial. So that was the purpose of the study, to confirm the results seen in the IDE trial.
Now, what kinds of patients would you use the Melody valve in?
It's for patients that have right heart disease who are born with this disease, so congenital heart disease involving the pulmonary valve, where the pulmonary valve may be small or absent, and need a surgically placed right ventricular to pulmonary artery conduit.
So what kinds of patients? Tetralogy of Fallot?
Sure. Tetralogy of Fallot with pulmonary atresia, usually truncus arteriosus, detransposition of the great arteries, and then patients who've had the Ross procedure as well, they receive RVDPA conduits.
Now, were you evaluating hemodynamics or heart events?
We were evaluating hemodynamics and complications, and freedom from reintervention, reoperation, and then looking at the valve function to see about stenosis and insufficiency that develops.
And what did you find?
We found that the procedural success was excellent at 98%, and that it was very safe, and that the valve had excellent function throughout the entire first year, with no patient having more than mild regurgitation of the valve, and only 3 patients having narrowing of the valve.
So 1 year is a relatively short period of time, but nevertheless very encouraging so far.
Absolutely. And, even 1 year means a lot to a teenager who's growing. If you have a surgically placed RV-to-PA conduit, these conduits calcify very quickly, and sometimes they only last 1, 2, 3 years before you need another open heart surgery. So if we could get 2, 3, 4 years to a teenager, that means a lot.
Are we going to see approval of this valve for widespread?
It is still with the HDE approval, and it probably will not need any different approval, because there are fewer than 4,000 people in the United States who need this valve every year, and there probably will not be more than that.
Well, an important percutaneous approach to a problem with valvular heart disease and congenital heart disease patients. Thanks very much for sharing this with us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
For On the Scene, I'm Tony DeMaria.